Yeah.
Your initial impressions of Rangers?
Really good. Obviously, since the day I signed, there's been no shortage of support, and Rangers fans I didn't know existed sort of come out of the woodwork. So support's been incredible. Obviously, a few weeks to wait before I got in, and since coming in, it's been exactly what I expected and more. There's a lot to learn still, and a lot more to discover. But so far, the lads are brilliant. The way they're working, what we're learning off the manager, and the way the group feels is really positive, and it's been a really enjoyable start.
Jack, I saw that on the other day on Instagram you posted the club's kind of message about Andy
Yeah.
Goram.
Yeah.
You're obviously following Alan McGregor as well,
Yeah.
two of the most thought of best goalkeepers that the club have ever had.
Yeah.
You're coming in next. How do you feel about that? And have you looked at what they achieved in their career, and are you trying to obviously emulate what they've done?
That's the plan. Obviously, you're talking about two goalies that have the goalie. Obviously, Griggsy. You know, two guys that have got an incredible history with the club. That knew what Rangers was about. So me watching that sort of memorial video, if you like, to Andy Goram the other day, painted a picture of what he was like and what he meant to the club and what the club meant to him. So I think that's what this club's all about. It's got a rich history of top goalkeepers, and that's something that, you know, I'll be looking to continue. Both on and off the pitch, is trying to learn about the club, enjoy it, take it all in, and hopefully follow in their footsteps. Which is, of course, a big ask because of what they've done, but it's what we're capable of doing, and that'll be great.
What attracted you to Rangers? Because you had a pretty lucrative contract sitting there for Manchester United. By all accounts from reports, they were your team as a boy. Why have you chosen to come up here, and what gravitated you towards the club?
It wasn't difficult, really. For me, joining Manchester United was a great opportunity to join a club I supported as a kid, to learn from the best and things like that. But you quickly get to the point where you realise just how much you miss playing yourself, how much you miss that winning feeling. It's great when other people are doing it and you're part of that. But for me, it was something that Rangers had always sort of been there for a few years. It was never quite got to the point where I had a decision to make. And this summer, it sort of got to that point. It wasn't a difficult decision to make. An incredible club to join, the history, but ultimately being successful, that's what you want as a player. To be successful, that's this club's goals every year, without fail, is to be successful and is to win. And that's an exciting place to be as a player. And hopefully we can do that.
Jack, you mentioned in one of your interviews you were keen to show maybe different sides of yourself. So that's in terms of your play style and things. Could you give us a bit of an insight into maybe what type of keeper you are? Rangers obviously have a lot of possession, so you've done the ball maybe a bit more than you might have been at Stoke. Is that something
I mean, to a point now as well, because of the amount of possession that we've got at times. So there's a different demand. I think obviously going to United and the style of play that they had differs from where I've been before. There'll be different demands on me again, but the be-all and end-all is keeping the ball out of the net. It's those moments, one moment maybe every game, that you've got to be where you need to be and make the right decision. Other games it may be more than that, but that's what being a goalkeeper at this club is all about. For a large part of it, you're going to have a lot of the possession. Some games are harder to break down teams than others, and it might come down to that one moment that just keeps you in a game and gives you the chance to win it, or keeps you 1-0 up, whatever it may be. And that's what it's about. So for me, that's exciting, is to hopefully be part of a winning squad, but to be able to contribute when it's most important, and that's what being a goalie here is all about.
You mentioned that Rangers were in the background in the past. Was that just the discussion for how far that go?
Yeah, no, it never got to the point where it was always there or thereabouts, but it never got to the point where I was able to make it a reality. Having met the manager months earlier, coming to a point in my contract where it was going to be a lot easier to make this happen, it started to become a bit more real. Hearing the manager and the way that he spoke and the plans that he had, it all of a sudden, with the law of Ibrox and the fans and everything that comes with the club, it became quite easy in the end.
Jack, do you still have ambitions to get back into the English league? Or just a massive club, big platform, possibly Champions League football. That's something you considered when you came up there?
It is. It's always that I'm a patriotic guy. You know, it's always important to me. My country's always been important to me. To have represented them in the past is an honour. I would of course love to get back to that. It's not my sole focus. My focus is to be successful at club level, and that's to do my job here. And whatever happens with that, I've always said that will take care of itself. That's for others to decide, but that only happens if we're doing what we need to here, and I'm playing well enough, which at the minute is my sole focus. And if that comes, then that is a bonus.
I touched on it there, but Champions League, the club were in it last season. Obviously, it's difficult to get through the qualifying stages, but proved last year it can be done. How big an attraction was that to come here, and how important do you see that this season?
Massive. It's, you know, European football. I've heard about the European nights at Ibrox. It goes without saying. You know, it's an important part of the club. I've had some great moments over the years in Europe. We're looking to continue that, and we've got an opportunity to do that. So that was certainly a massive point for me. We're sort of guaranteed it either way, but that's not our focus, is to rely on that. We want to get into the Champions League. No. It wasn't ever there. I'm sort of. It had always been an attraction of mine. There had been slight rumours that it could, but it never got to that point where I ever spoke to anyone. I obviously spoke to the manager. I think it was back in March. He came down to see me. Very quickly got a feel for what he wanted to do. Presentation of what the club was about. You know, you can only get so much from that. But I'd made my mind up by that point. And then once the contract situation with Palace came to a point, it was all, you know, full steam ahead, and got it wrapped up as quick as possible. Yeah, I mean, I kept my eye on them towards the end of last season as well. I was keeping an eye out and watched a few games when I got a chance. You can say what you like about them. I think you got to get there and experience it firsthand. So looking forward to that. They are what they are, and you've got to win.
Jack, you said you wanted to play, and that's about motivation. What did you learn when you weren't playing? What did you learn about yourself and what was required?
Perhaps just a maturity, just seeing it from a different place, picking up things where you can. It's difficult as a keeper. It's a difficult position when you're not playing. The opportunities don't often come around unless there's injuries and things happen. So you learn a little bit more about yourself. It's an opportunity to work on other parts of your game, strength, conditioning wise, things like that. Putting in the extras on the training pitch, and getting the opportunity to play. So obviously the last 6 months of United, testing yourself against some of the best players in the world. So it's something that I believe I can do. I enjoyed that challenge and relished it. But it all came back to playing, and hopefully can show that while I'm here.
Somebody who worked closely was David De Gea.
Yep.
Obviously, we don't know what his future is.
Yep.
Potentially at Manchester United.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
In terms of David De Gea, you worked closely with him. How much did you learn from him, and how much more has he got to offer potentially still at Manchester United?
Yeah, he does. He's a top goalkeeper. He's been at United for 12 years, I think it is now. An incredible servant to the club. And he may or may not be in the future. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure the future's going to be positive for him either way. But watching him, it sort of follows the pattern of what we're going to have this year with the amount of games. So the way that he trained, the way that he had to look after his body to make sure that he was ready to go and perform the amount of times that he had to. But as another keeper that I've worked with, is thoroughly enjoyable to work with, and you know, I wish him all the best with whatever happens, whether it's at United or away from there.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.